Hello, everybody. Welcome to this live session where we're going to have an advanced lesson on one of my favourite poems called A Blackbird Singing. A Blackbird Singing. This is live stream 6, and we're going to be discussing the advanced vocabulary used in this poem and also discussing the meaning and the interpretations of these poems. And this is an advanced lesson, so it's designed to really push you and your knowledge in English. So if you haven't done already, the free worksheet is available to download on my website. It's a worksheet that I've designed. I always design worksheets for most of my live streams. I will always let you know in the description if there will be a worksheet to download. It is very beneficial for you to do that before the lesson. So if you've got a printer, print it out so that you can kind of, get a pen and a highlighter to annotate your work. And also maybe create a folder with these printed out. Maybe create a virtual folder on your phone or your laptop and kind of save it. These resources are available to you. Obviously, the live stream and my lessons on YouTube are valuable, but I want you to supplement that with the free worksheets as well. So the poem, if you haven't read it already, I've printed it out for you to see. Now, I'm going to read this out. What you can do is, I will hold it here, and I've actually got another version printed out, so I will read it out for you. A Blackbird Singing by R.S. Thomas. It seems wrong that out of this bird, black, bold, a suggestion of dark, places about it, there yet should come such rich music, as though the notes all were changed to a rare metal at one touch of that bright bill. You have heard it often, alone at your desk, in green April, your mind drawn away from its work by sweet disturbance of the mild evening outside your room, a slow singer, but loading each phrase with history's overtones, love, joy, and grief learned by his dark tribe, in other orchards and passed on instinctively as they are now, but fresh always with new tears. So we're going to be analysing this poem. Let me just read out the first paragraph again for you. It seems wrong that out of this bird, black, bold, a suggestion of dark, places about it there yet should come such rich music, as though the notes all were changed to a rare metal at one touch of that bright bill. So hello to everybody who's just joined. Feel free to join the live stream half an hour before. I mean, I am, sometimes live on the comment section, 15, 20 minutes before, and I'm having a chat with everybody. So feel free to join that as well to kind of ease yourself into the lesson. So let's analyze this first paragraph. It seems wrong that out of this bird, black, bold, a suggestion of dark. So clearly, R.S. Thomas is talking about a bird here, and that bird is a blackbird. And he's describing the bird with words such as black, bold, and a suggestion of dark. Now, my interpretation of this is that he's setting a dark tone and a dark mood to the poem. And this is also highlighted by the fact that it starts off, even the first kind of phrase that he uses is, it seems wrong. It seems wrong. It seems wrong. So you can see here, as soon as he starts this poem, he's starting on a kind of wrong tone. It's quite unsettling. There's acute discomfort that runs throughout this poem. Places about it there yet should come such rich music, as though the notes all were changed to a rare metal. What this means is that the blackbird is singing so beautifully. It genuinely is. So it starts off on kind of like a negative note, But then there's such rich music, as though the notes or were changed to a rare metal. As though the notes or were changed to a rare metal. Now, ore is a rock. It's a naturally occurring rock that contains metals in it. So this word here, ore, is pronounced, ore, just like how we would say the other ore, O-R. And it's a rock containing a mineral. So this mineral could be gold, right? It could be, so many other precious metals. So it's worthy enough to extract that metal from that ore. So it's as if this bird has changed this kind of, rock into this rare metal. It's kind of beautifully changed it into gold, into something valuable. So this metaphor is a beautiful metaphor because it describes just how beautiful the music is. So what we can do is we can annotate that, and I'm going to put here that that's a metaphor. Now, a metaphor in English is similar to a simile. A simile is when you describe something like something. So, for example, this sheet of paper is as white as snow. It's like snow. So when you describe it like something else, it's a simile. But a metaphor is when you say something is something else. So, for example, if you want to describe the character James, and James is a fantastic swimmer, we could say James is a fish in water. James is a fish in water, which describes just how well he swims. So this is also a metaphor because the bird isn't really changing that rock into gold, is it? It's a metaphor to describe just how beautiful the notes are coming from its mouth. Now, I'm just going to underline black, bold, and a suggestion of dark. So I'm going to put dark tone. This is it's a dark tone, and the beginning bit, it seems wrong. I think there's a bit of acute discomfort there. It creates discomfort. Okay. At one touch of that bright bill. What's a bill? Could you guys let me know in the comments below what bill is? Let's pause there. So we've just analysed that first paragraph. Just wanted to say hello to everybody who's joined. Also, just let me know what you think the word bill means. Hello, MS95. Good to see you. Hi, Lucas. Hi, Eve. Laszlo from Dublin. Hi, DEN. Bonjour. Hi, Joel. Hello, everybody, for joining. Hi, Lisa George, or Liza George. Nishi says beak, and Samira says beak, exactly. Yeah, fantastic. So, at one touch of that bright bill. Okay. Now, let's go on to the next paragraph where it talks. Let me just read it out for you one more time. You have heard it often, alone at your desk. In green April, your mind drawn away from its work by sweet disturbance of that mild evening outside your room. Now, I really want to draw your attention to this oxymoron here. An oxymoron in English is when you have two contradicting terms next to each other. Oxymoron. And this means contradictory terms. There we are. Sweet disturbance. How can a disturbance be sweet? Right? Again, it creates a discomfort. It's like it's beautiful, but it's not beautiful. Don't worry, this will start to make sense as we finish the poem and we'll interpret what it means on a grander scale. So a sweet disturbance. A slow singer, but loading each phrase with history's overtones, love, joy, and grief learned by his dark tribe. In other words, orchards and passed on instinctively as they are now, but fresh always with new tears. So the blackbird is kind of singing a slow song. He's a slow singer, right? So this could indicate that it's kind of like a mournful song. What does mournful mean? Mournful. When you're mourning someone's death, you're very sad. Um, so yeah, it's a kind of maybe a dark song. Nishi says, today's session is on your request. Yes, I do remember Payao asking for a more advanced lesson. So, yeah. So, a slow singer. With history's overtones, love and joy, and grief learned by his dark tribe. What do you think that means? With history's overtones, love, joy, and grief learned by his dark tribe. What do you think that bit means? I'll give you a minute to kind of try and interpret this. Don't worry, Gridesh says there's no audio. I'm not speaking. I'm just giving you a minute to think. So have a think. So I don't want to rush this lesson. I do want to give you a time to think. Now that I've kind of explained what the rest of this poem is about, I want you to think about what it means by with history's overtones, love, joy, and grief learned by his dark tribe. So I'd love to give my interpretations. Now, this is the thing. I can never tell you what the meaning is 100%. I can never tell you exactly what the meaning of poems are because poems are open to interpretation. I can't get into R.S. Thomas's head and ask him, what did you mean by that, right? Poetry is art, it's open for interpretation. Like when someone paints a painting, it's what that means to you. And it's also kind of, you can try and understand what it means, but different human beings are going to interpret it differently. So the way that I interpret this poem is the blackbird is kind of like a witness to the things that happen in the world. There are joyful things, but also there are less joyful things, and he's kind of like a witness to things that are going on in the world and has happened in the world. So, for example, when you see this, tears, fresh always with new tears. So it's kind of like it starts off on a negative tone, but it's so beautiful, and then tears. So those are my interpretations. And the interesting thing about ending with the word tears is that perhaps there won't be any end to it, right? Maybe there's not going to be an end to the sadness. So it's kind of like There's no end, question mark. That might be quite a pessimistic thing to kind of interpret that poem in that way, but I think it's a beautiful poem because it talks about the sweet disturbance of life, right? Even through this beautiful song, it's kind of like the blackbird has witnessed a lot. Maybe it's a metaphor for kind of R.S. Thomas, the actual poet who has witnessed a lot in his life. And even though things can be beautiful, it's there are some dark undertones. Hi, Guy. Let's read your comment. I might be completely wrong, but I think the blackbird is compared to people with dark skin who are oppressed or enslaved. Oh, wow, that's an interesting interpretation. I never read it in that way. Um, wow, this is the thing. There's lots of different interpretations from these poems, um, and we take what we want from these poems. Now, what can you guys tell me about the lack of rhyming in these poems? Lack of rhyming. Obviously, if there was going to be a consistent rhyme scheme, that's going to put the mood of the poem up here. But actually, there's no consistent rhyme scheme. So let's think about the rhyming here. By the way, thank you very much for your message yesterday, Guy. Really made my day. I'll let you guys know that you can email me and you can Instagram DM me with voice notes, and I'm really glad you guys did. And Guy sent me a. Hold on, let me try and pronounce your name, Guy. Gertrude? 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 Let's think about the rhyming scheme at the end of these poems. Dark, bird, calm notes, metal bill. Nope, they don't rhyme. Desk, drawn, disturbance, room. Nope. Can you spot any rhyming for me? No. Now there's different techniques used here. There's enjambment, which is when the sentence continues on without a pause after the line. So, for example, beyond the end of a line or a stanza. So, if the kind of sentence continues without a comma, that's enjambment. Right. So those are my interpretations, guys. It's a beautiful poem because it kind of it's yeah. I love how there's that constant those constant juxtapositions going on, those oxymorons, those contradictions happening in the poem, and it's interesting how it happens throughout, and it's interesting how it starts off on a negative note and kind of ends with the word tears here. Payal says the structure of this poem is very beautiful. It is very, very beautiful. Nishi says, is it necessary for all poems to rhyme? Absolutely not. Rhyming is just one technique in poetry, but you can have lots and lots of different styles. So I would love to hear your interpretations of this poem in the live stream, but also I've really enjoyed teaching you guys that today. Blackbird Singing. Let me just read through a few questions in the live stream here. So, hi Anpu, I have a question. Can we learn IPA, International Phonetics Alphabet, and make our pronunciation better? Yeah, it's definitely a fantastic tool to kind of help you understand how to create those sounds in the phonetics alphabet, for sure, for sure. So, I hope you've enjoyed that lesson. It was quicker than our usual live stream, but wanted to keep that short and sweet. Feel free to download this PDF and annotate it. Watch this video again, interpret it, improve your vocabulary. send me suggestions about any other poetry that you would like me to cover, any other types of advanced lessons that you would like from this channel. Um, Shiva Kumar says, I can't give my interpretations because I just joined a few minutes ago. Yeah, so punctuality is key with these lessons because I don't want you to miss out on the live stream. If you're going to join at 12 o'clock. So I'm going to be planning lessons again for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week at 12 o'clock London time, which is 4:30 India time. So don't arrive at 12 o'clock, arrive at like 11:45, right? Because I'm going to be live commenting with you guys and interacting with you guys. And we actually had an amazing chat with the guys who were here earlier, discussing interpretations, kind of giving tips. You can ask me questions before the live stream. So I will always try my best to be on the computer at 11:45 so that we're ready to go at 12. Also, make sure you do download these free worksheets. They're free, right? So there's nothing stopping you from downloading it. And what I was saying in the earlier part of today's lesson was get a folder, print it out, make annotations, interact with these worksheets. If you're really serious about improving your vocab, improving your English, then take it seriously. And it's also an enjoyable process as well. So all these resources are available to you on YouTube and other places as well. So yeah. Is stress important in English? Yes, stress is super important. I can make a video on that. So let me just write that down. Stress. I will have to make a video about that. I'm actually in the process of planning next week's videos. I wanted to do Zayn Malik's accent as one of them, but I'm open to your ideas for the other two. So send me a message, send me a DM. Let me write my Instagram handles. Conquer British English is my Instagram page dedicated to the English language, and Anpu London, artistic Instagram page, and you can feel free to DM me there. That was really enjoyable, guys, and feel free to watch this video back if you kind of didn't understand any bits here. Feel free to send me an email and a DM about any of the lessons that we're covering. And until next time, until next week, I'll see you then. Take care of yourselves. Bye.